Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay until the very end, because what happened on that stage left Simon Cowell speechless, brought thousands to tears, and changed two lives forever in a way nobody saw coming. Just when everyone thought it was another ordinary audition, a brother and sister from a small town in the Philippines stepped onto the stage carrying a secret that would shake the entire world. And what happened after their performance became one of the most unforgettable moments in talent show history. The bright lights of the stage seemed almost too powerful for Miguel and Sofia Reyes. Standing side by side, they looked nervous, holding each other's hands tightly as the massive audience watched in silence. Miguel was 21 years old, tall and thin, with tired eyes that revealed years of hardship. Sofia was only 16, petite and shy, her hands trembling as she adjusted the simple bracelet her mother had given her years earlier. They wore modest clothes that stood in contrast to the glamorous performers who had appeared before them. As they walked to the center of the stage, Simon Cowell glanced at their audition form. He smiled politely but appeared unsure. The audience expected another singing act. After all, talent competitions were filled with singers every season. Nobody could have predicted that these two siblings were about to create a moment people would talk about for years. Simon leaned forward. "So, tell us about yourselves." Miguel took a deep breath. "We come from a small fishing village in the Philippines." The audience applauded warmly. Miguel continued. "Our father passed away when I was 14. After that, everything changed. My mother worked 3 jobs just to feed us. There were many nights we didn't know if we'd have enough food the next day." The audience grew quiet. Sofia lowered her eyes. "There were times we studied by candlelight because we couldn't afford electricity." A wave of sympathy spread across the theater. Simon nodded respectfully. "And why did you come here today?" Miguel looked at his sister. "Because singing saved us." The audience listened carefully. "When life became difficult, we sang together. No matter how hungry we were, no matter how scared we felt, music gave us hope." For a moment, the theater was completely silent. Then Simon smiled. "Well, good luck." The music began softly. At first, the performance seemed simple. Miguel sang the opening verse with a gentle voice full of emotion. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't loud. But it was real. The audience immediately felt something different. Then Sofia joined. The moment her voice entered, people looked at each other in disbelief. Her voice was breathtaking. Pure. Powerful. Filled with emotion far beyond her years. Even Simon's expression changed. He sat upright. The audience leaned forward. As the song continued, their voices blended together perfectly. It felt less like two people singing and more like one soul divided into two hearts. Every note carried years of struggle. Every lyric carried memories of sacrifice. People weren't just hearing a song. They were hearing a life story. The camera captured audience members wiping away tears. One woman covered her mouth in shock. A man in the front row shook his head as if unable to believe what he was hearing. Then came the first surprise. Halfway through the song, the music suddenly stopped. The audience looked confused. Simon frowned. For a brief second, everyone thought something had gone wrong. But Miguel stepped forward. Without music. Without backing tracks. Without any accompaniment. He began singing alone. His voice echoed through the theater. Raw. Honest. Powerful. Every word felt personal. Then Sofia joined him in perfect harmony. The entire theater froze. The acoustics carried their voices through every corner of the building. No instruments. No production tricks. Just two siblings sharing their hearts. The audience erupted into applause before the song had even ended. But the biggest moment was still coming. As the final chorus approached, a giant screen behind them lit up. Images appeared. Family photos. Old pictures from their childhood. Photos of their mother working long hours. Pictures of the tiny home where they had grown up. The audience watched their journey unfold. Then a photograph of their late father appeared. Miguel's voice began to crack. Sofia struggled to hold back tears. The emotion became overwhelming. People throughout the audience were openly crying. Even some crew members backstage wiped their eyes. Then the final note arrived. It soared through the theater like a message of hope. Long. Powerful. Perfect. When the note ended, silence filled the room. For nearly 3 seconds nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Nobody breathed. Then the theater exploded. Thousands of people jumped to their feet. The standing ovation was immediate. Louder than anything heard all season. The applause continued. And continued. And continued. Simon Cowell remained seated. Not because he disliked the performance. Because he was stunned. Completely stunned. His eyes remained fixed on the siblings. Finally, he stood. The crowd cheered even louder. Simon slowly picked up his microphone. "I've been doing this for a very long time." The audience quieted instantly. "And every year people tell me they've found something special." He looked at Miguel and Sofia. "But very rarely do I see something that feels completely genuine." The siblings stood silently. Tears filled Sofia's eyes. Simon continued. "Tonight wasn't just about singing." The audience listened carefully. It was about family. Applause erupted again. It was about courage. More applause. It was about never giving up when life gives you every reason to quit. Now many audience members were crying again. Miguel held his sister's hand tightly. Simon paused. Then smiled. "And I think the entire world deserves to hear your story." The audience erupted. People began shouting. Some already sensed what was coming. Simon looked toward the judges. The other judges were standing and cheering. Then he turned back toward the siblings. "I have to ask you something." Miguel nodded nervously. Simon smiled. "When you were children singing in that small house, did you ever imagine this moment?" Miguel laughed through tears. "Never." The audience smiled. "We only dreamed of helping our mother." The crowd erupted into applause. Then Simon looked toward the giant golden button. The audience immediately screamed. Sofia's hands flew to her face. Miguel looked completely shocked. Simon slowly walked across the stage. Every step increased the tension. The crowd began chanting. "Golden buzzer! Golden buzzer!" Sofia started crying. Miguel wrapped his arm around her shoulders. Simon stopped beside the button. He looked at them one final time. "This is for every family that refused to give up." Then he slammed his hand down. Golden confetti exploded into the air. The theater erupted into complete chaos. The audience screamed louder than ever. Golden rain filled the stage. Miguel collapsed to his knees. Sofia cried uncontrollably. The siblings embraced as confetti surrounded them. Their dream had become reality. But what happened next made the moment even more emotional. Their mother appeared on the giant screen through a live video call from the Philippines. The moment Sofia saw her mother, she burst into tears again. Their mother could barely speak. She was crying too hard. "My children!" The audience watched through tears. "You made your father proud today." Miguel covered his face. Years of pain. Years of sacrifice. Years of struggle. All led to this moment. The crowd applauded continuously. Even Simon appeared emotional. The siblings thanked their mother repeatedly. For several minutes, nobody wanted the moment to end. Videos of the audition spread across social media within hours. Millions watched. Then tens of millions. Then hundreds of millions. People from every country connected with the story. Not because of the competition. Not because of the golden buzzer. But because everyone understood what family meant. Everyone understood sacrifice. Everyone understood hope. The performance became one of the most shared talent show moments of the year. Schools discussed it. Families watched it together. People who had nearly given up on their dreams found new motivation. Miguel and Sofia eventually returned home as heroes. Their village organized a celebration. Children lined the streets. Neighbors cheered. Their mother hugged them as if she never wanted to let go. But despite the fame, they remained humble. They continued helping their community. They continued supporting young musicians. And they never forgot where they came from. Years later, when people asked what made their audition so special, Miguel always gave the same answer. It wasn't about us. People would look confused. Then he would smile. It was about everyone who keeps going when life gets difficult. And perhaps that is why the performance touched so many hearts around the world. Because deep down, everyone faces struggles. Everyone experiences setbacks. Everyone has moments when giving up seems easier. But stories like Miguel and Sofia's remind us that hope can survive even the hardest circumstances. Dreams can grow in the smallest places. And sometimes the people the world least expects become the ones who inspire millions. So if you're watching this right now and going through a difficult season in your life, remember their story. Remember the brother and sister who sang through hardship, who refused to surrender, and who transformed pain into something beautiful. Your situation today does not determine your future. Keep believing. Keep working. Keep moving forward. And who knows? The moment that changes your life forever may be much closer than you think. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like T.